Tremont's car. Kenny's several-time Lebanon Valley champion, runs at Albany, Saratoga, and this year he's going to be running at Devil's Bowl also. Kenny will be driving the Dennis Tremont-owned car, the car at Albany, Saratoga. That car last year was driven by Alan Johnson, and on Sundays he'll be driving his father's car. Both are number 115. The JRD is the Just Right digging car, and that's one driven by young Vince Quinville. Vince, son of the famous racer Vince Quinville Sr., has come into his own, and John Daniel has given him brand new equipment for 1996. So Vince, starting to come along, should have a good year with a brand new car. See the teddy bear that they have in the car. New color scheme, new paint scheme this year for Vince. Several trophies that he's won in the past. It's the 88 of Ron Dwyer, Bennington's Ron Dwyer. That's a brand new Geo car, and Ron hails from Bennington, Vermont. He's done a nice job with this car this year. Ron's another young and up-and-coming talent, and could be a good year. He's got the right equipment, and hopefully Rod will have a great year. Ron and his team have done quite a bit of work on this car, and you can see it. Nice job. Ray Nutting, one of Ray's trucks, and as you know, Ray's racing this year, so that ought to be interesting. The 55-year-old as he makes a comeback in the sportsman division. Ray also collects old cars and trucks, and this is a pretty truck that he's collected. Late model of Sean Cassidy coming up next. And late models are, unfortunately, have been discontinued at Albany, Saratoga, and Devil's Bowl. And some of them have been converted to IMCA-style modifieds, this one not being one of those cars. But Sean is a pretty car, and they've done a lot of work in that car. It's interesting to see just the amount of time and effort that goes into these cars. Most of these people spend all winter working on these cars. This is the number 60 of Jimmy Ryan, Jimmy from Shoreham, Vermont. And Jimmy had in the past driven for someone else. This year he's going to be driving his own car, sponsored by his father, so that'll be interesting. Jimmy's a young guy. This is a Bicknell car, and he should do a good job. The car was real fast last year. That car was 00 last year, and this year it's number 60. Street stock cars. Bill Bryden's number 31. Bill's one of the talented street stock drivers at Devil's Bowl Speedway, and he always does a good job, and I'm confident he'll have a great year. Whether it's the street stocks or modifieds, these guys all put a lot of time and effort into these cars. Number 9, that's Jim and Trone from Granville, New York. Jim's in the sportsman division. Jim's got a lot of talent, and they've done a lot of work on that car this year. Sportsman division's really increased, and I believe CJ told me there's 40 people entered. The number 20, that's the Frank Ward car out of Manchester. Young Frank who, following in his father's footsteps, Frank Sr. Frank's in the sportsman division, and he raced Fonda also last year, and where he did very well, picking up a feature win. He was a tough competitor at Devil's Bowl, and he only raced the last few races of the year, but shows a lot of promise. '61 at Carl Murray. This is the Steve Howard Carl Murray car. Carl's a talented driver, been around a few years and just starting to come into his own. Could be a big year for Carl Murray. That's a brand new champ car from Dave Lake. Slate Express, that's Dave Camara's car. Dave's probably the most talented Vermonter. Dave's got a lot of talent. He's going to run the School Series this year, and he has a good chance of winning some races there. On my list is John Harrison and car owner Lionel Samard. And guys, you got a brand new car this year, one of the Olson Pro cars, and it looks like it's going to be an exciting year for you. How do you see your plans?
Well, we purchased a car from Jack Johnson, and Jack's going to run it the first race next Sunday. And we hope to have a good season, run consistently around top 5. We got a brand new motor, and at Devil's Bowl, we hope to pick off a win.
Lionel, what do you think of your chances this year?
I think they're real good. We really went out this year to put everything in the car, and we got all brand new stuff, and I think we're going to really do well this year.
That sounds great. Of course, that ended the rumor that's been going around for the last 10 days about Jack Johnson driving the 24 car, and we're going to be excited to see that show next Sunday at Albany, Saratoga.
We were thinking we get all the bugs out first, and Jack, he's been around for years, and a hell of a good driver, so that's why we went with Jack to take it first race.
Guys, good luck, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is the Orwell Express of Timmy LeDuc. Timmy, he started in the hobby stock class, 4-cylinder class, moved up to the late models, did a real good job, picked up the championship. This year he's moving up to the sportsman division, and Timmy's a talented driver. He follows in his footsteps. His father who raced many years ago. Did a nice job in this car, and it'll be interesting to see just how well Timmy does this year, but he'll be a competitor. He'll be in the thick of things. See all the work that's been done on that car. That's a car that he bought from Matt Waite, Pollitt's Matt Waite. Nice car here. This is one of the IMSCA style modifieds. It's a late model. It's been rearranged, and these cars will run with a sportsman this year. Some people feel these cars will be faster than the sportsman, but time will tell. '24 Johnny Harris, John from Pittsford. It's a brand new car this year. It's an Olson Pro car, the Kevin Enders motor. And reports are that Jack Johnson's going to drive this car, the Jumpin' Jack Johnson, famed modified racer. He's going to drive it at the Hot Summer's Night season opener at Albany, Saratoga. And John's got a lot of talent. He's got the best equipment he's probably ever had. Could be a real good year for John. It's amazing just the paint jobs on these cars and how talented people are. And, you get to see that in racing. You know, you get to see the craftsmanship that not only the car owners have, but the other people have to put in. Painters, the tin people. This is the 57 of Sput Shaw from Wallingford. Sput was in the late model division. He's moved up to the sportsman this year. This is a car that last year was number 07 in the modifieds. It belonged to Don Rocca. Spot went out and bought it, put it together, and Spot's looking forward to racing in the sportsman division this year. Should do a real good job. And that, as I said earlier, that division is really growing. 40 cars have signed up for the sportsman this year. So a lot of talent, and a lot of racing action. The 51S, that's Ray Dunning's car. Ray's, again, as I said earlier, is going to be running the sportsman division. 55 years old, hasn't raced in 6 years, making a comeback, and that should be a real interesting thing. Son Lee's car, modified. Lee's a talented driver, and you can look for Lee to give it a serious shot to be the Champlain Valley Racing Association track champion, overall champion this year. And he was 5th last year in points. So you know they're going for the track champion, for the CBRA championship this year and the point fund. '87 of Hector Stratton, Mr. Excitement from Bennington. Hector's one of those guys, he's there every race. And he's another guy that could win the championship this year. He's a little guy, but he has a good team. They always have good equipment. Don't let Hector surprise you, because he'll win some races this year. The street's boxed. Number 20, sponsored by Cohen's Garage. These guys do a good job racing too, and they put some excitement. One of the IMCA style modifieds, Jeff Bedett's car. Jeff does a good job. Did a good job in the late model division. He'll do a good job in the sportsman. We're still at the Green Mountain Motorsports show here at the Diamond Ridge Mall, and with us today is John Turco, driver of the number 44 sportsman car. John, you went home with a lot of hardware last night from the award ceremony. How'd you feel about that?
Felt excellent about it. It was a real good show. Big turnout. I couldn't believe I took home that, the main award, which was People's Choice Award. I also took home Best Sportsman, second, and Best of Show in the Sportsman. I forget what else it was.
I know there's a lot of hardware, John. Everybody figures you're the guy to beat this year, but you've got some competition, and you lost Randy Hotelling to the modifieds. How do you see the year unfolding for you?
I think I'll be doing all right, but you got David Towns is still there. He's going to be hard to beat. Gauthier from New York is going to be tough. You got some new guys coming on. They're going to be pretty rough to beat, I think. I got a feeling.
Well, John, we wish you the best of luck, and thank you for stopping by today.
Okay, thank you very much. Well,
this is what Jeff Bedett's late model looked like last year. And as you can see, there's quite a difference from that car from 1995 to 1996. And again, Jeff didn't have the money probably to go out and buy a new sportsman car. He's converted it to an IMCA-styled modified, and he'll be running it with the sportsman class. He was a top runner in the late model division, so you can't expect any less from him in the sportsman division. This is Kenny Martin's car. Kenny's from Fairhaven. It's an old coupe. Kenny's done quite a job restoring this car. You can see what it looked like before, looked stripped and everything else, and how they bought it. It's kind of amazing. A lot of time and effort put into this car. and he hails from Fairhaven. This is the finished product. Nice car. I can remember when I was growing up in the 50s and 60s where the coupes were the cars that were used by the modifieds. And, it's a nice car. A lot of craftsmanship has gone into this. Another one of the late models. Or street stocks, rather. It'll take me a month or so to forget that there's no more late models of their street stocks now. Donnie Actor's car. Don Ackner, now the Clifton Park, New York, one of the top racers in the modified division. Always a tough competitor, has been racing a long time. Always goes to Syracuse every year for Super Dirt Week. He had a good run last year. New paint scheme for Don's car. He usually had a red car, and this year they've changed it. But does a good job. The Kearns Racing team, who he drives for, done a real nice job in this car. He's a guy you can't ever count out. He'll be there at the finish. And you know Don would like to have another championship. Don also runs Friday night Albany Saratoga, Saturday night 11 in Valley, and Sunday at Devil's Bowl. So he keeps pretty busy racing. Shows you the seat belts, straps. These cars are pretty safe with the roll bars, and it's one thing about racing is that they really enforce the rules here as far as safety. Here's a street stock, and they've done a nice job on this car. Car comes from Glens Falls. See the roll cage for the safety, and that's pretty well assembled. One of the other things that the racers have to do is they have to wear a fire suit, fire shoes, and fire gloves, and that's all, as well as a helmet. So racing really is a safe sport. And the track operators are real strict about that they wear that equipment, that they have the roll bars, and that the roll bars are built right. The technical inspectors at the tracks inspect these cars before they're allowed to race. See the tachometer, the gauges. It's the important things for a racer to check. Make sure the water temperature, the oil temperature. Special welding and stuff goes to build those roll cages. It does take a lot of talent. This is one of the Hooter Cup cars out of West Moody's Tour. And they're going to be running Malone International Speedway should that track open this year, in Evans Mills, New York, and I believe out in Syracuse they have a race scheduled. This is a new series, and it should be quite exciting. Nice paint scheme on the car. Danny Abold is the owner of that car. it's on asphalt rather than dirt. The brake and clutch pedal, a little different from what we use in our own cars. Steering wheel and all the gauges, the roll cage. A lot of fabricating goes here, so there's a lot of talent in that area too. This is the 44, the bad boy, Johnny Turco from Rutland. John's one of the top sportsman drivers, and you know this year he'd like to pick up the CVRA overall sportsman championship as well as Devil's Bowl and Albany-Saratoga champion. He'll have a lot of competition this year, but Turk's got a lot of talent. He should be there in the top 5 at least. Possibly he'll be the champion. He has a good chance of being it. John recently bought an engine from the Camaro race team, and that should be a plus for this team. Nice paint job this year on that car. John was a tough late model competitor when he raced in the late model division. This will be his second year in the sportsman division. It took him a few weeks last year to figure out the open wheel type cars, but he did a real good job. And I just know by talking to John that he wants to be the triple champion this year, and he's got probably as good a shot, if not better than most of the guys. David Towns will be right there if we compete with him, but don't ever count Turco out. See, there's not a lot of room in those cars. The seats are fit right to the driver. Again, that's a safety feature. The steering wheels will come right off. They take those off to get in the car. See your brakes and your suspension parts right there, and shocks. A lot of intricate things on these race cars that people just don't realize. Radius arms. John's done a real nice job getting this car ready. All new parts. And that's quite an expense in itself. Hi, this is Mike Peer. We're still at the Green Mountain Motorsports Show at the Diamond Ridge Mall, and with us right now is Mike Bruno. Mike, you're one of those drivers who's advanced up. You left the CVRA, you went to the asphalt racing. How's it going for you?
Well, it's going pretty good. You know, you got to start somewhere to help your career and move up. You know, we started where all these guys started, you know, racing Devil's Bowl. That's where we cut our teeth. And we're trying to take the step to move to the asphalt and see how far we can progress our career.
Are you looking to go to the Busch Grand National or possibly the Winston Cup level?
Well, that's what we're working for, you know. I mean, it's a hard, long road, you know. You got to get with the right people and get the right sponsors, and we're trying to do all that stuff. So we're just taking it one step at a time and see how far we can go.
One of the nice things for the local boys is that, and I mean guys like you, is that a northern boy, Ricky Craven, has really cut some excitement this year in the Winston Cup rings. How do you think about that?
Well, I think that just goes to show all the people in the area that it can be done. You know, it's all how far you want to take it and how far you can go with it. Ricky Craven's a perfect example of how far you can go. You know, he started out racing these cars just like I'm racing back in the mid-'80s, and now he's running Winston Cup, and he's doing really well at it.
Mike, good luck this year, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, thank you.
This is one of the trucks, and that truck class is getting popular. If you've seen in the Winston Cup leagues, the trucks have become real popular. Several Winston Cup and Busch drivers racing these. Don't be surprised in 1997 if these trucks are starting to race at Devil's Bowl in Albany, Saratoga. There's been rumor and a lot of talk about the truck class. It's gaining popularity nationwide, so I look to see it locally here very shortly. As I said earlier, there has been talk that both of the Champlain Valley Racing Association will be going to this division in 1997. This is the Evans Mills New York pace car. That's a track ran by Wes Moody in the Hooters Cup. I grew up in Saranac Lake, New York, where Wes started his racing career. Wes was a modified driver for many years, now a track promoter promoting Malone International Speedway and the Hooters Cup Series, which includes Evans Mills Speedway. Bear Ridge Speedway. This is the car of CV Elms. Reports are that CV is going to race this year also at Devil's Bowl Speedway. And Bear Ridge is known for its old coupes and modifieds, and that's kind of a neat track. It's very unique, actually. Very few tracks have the old style coupes racing anymore, but CV has a class there. They say that that's a real good show, even though I've never been to Bear Ridge. They race on Saturday nights. And that's in Bradford, Vermont. Another one of the cars from Bear Ridge. They have a lot of fun up there. I don't know if the level of the competition is equivalent to the Champlain Valley Racing Association or not. But everybody who goes there tells me they have a great time and a lot of fun. Paint scheme on this guy. Tasmanian Devil. I believe this is an asphalt car. Perhaps from Claremont Speedway. That's Mike Parati's car. Mike's from Plattsburgh, New York. He's sponsored by Georgie Huddig from Elizabethtown, New York. And Mike's one of the top modified drivers in the Northeast. Didn't have a great year last year, but he's a tough competitor and he can be right there at the end. Modifieds of Gardner and Todd Stone, Middlebury. They have a lot of talent. Todd's an up-and-coming driver. Gardner's world known for his tractor pulls, likes to drive the modifieds and likes to have a good time. They race on Granby and Quebec on Friday nights, and they're going to be running Devil's Bowl on Sunday nights. They can always put on a good show. And they always come with the best of equipment. Not sure if this is one of their TO cars or the Bicknell's cars. This is Mike Bruno's car. Mike's from Castleton. Mike started his racing career at Devil's Bowl in the 4-cylinder class. Moved to the modifieds, drove for his father in the modifieds, did a real good job in the dirt modifieds. Mike had some ambitions. He'd like to go to the Busch Grand Nationals. He'd like to maybe go to the Winston Cup. And he's running the asphalt. Runs at Airborne Speedway in Plattsburgh and Thunder Road in Barrie, plus some other tracks. Ryan Keith's car. Ryan's from Pittsburgh. And number 2 is Todd Morey's car. Todd's a talented sportsman driver, another one of Matt Waite's old cars. Craig Ormsby from Plattsburgh in the number 8. Craig's a talented driver. The 64, the Superman, C.D. Colville. And C.D.'s a legend. He's done a real good job of racing. And he always puts on an exciting show. 75, that's driven by Bobby Savoy, owned by Mike Richards. That's a car I know a lot about. Mike Richards and Gene Munger, when Gene drove for him, taught me a lot about racing. The 15, that's Kim Duell, his car. Kim's another talented driver, been driving for a few years. Some of the ice racing cars, which is something I've never watched before, but they tell me that's kind of fun. You watch, you'll see the studs in the tires. It's a modified ice racer, and it's got the wings. Nice paint job. You can see the studs in the tires. So really there's racing year round, especially when you have the ice cars. It looks just like a dirt modified. It's set up to run on the ice. Adirondack Enthusiast, Motor Enthusiast Club, and they're the ones who do the ice racing. These are some of the cars from Claremont Speedway. Kelly Coleman, several others here. Rich Perry from Wallingford was one of the owners of one of these cars. Rich works for the Carpet King, Chip Gottlieb. He loves racing and has his own car. So, asphalt modified. This is Mike Pear with the Green Mountain Motorsports Show at the Diamond Ridge Mall. We got the guy they call the Orwell Express with us, Tim LeDuc. And Tim, you're moving up this year from the late models to the sportsman classes. How's that shake out for you?
Well, I'm really kind of nervous actually going into it, but I hope, everything works out like my late model, and hopefully I'll have a good season and pick off a couple wins and hopefully come ahead of the game.
Yeah, well, you were the man to beat the late models, and everybody feels you're going to do a real good job in the sportsman division. Do you have any plans for the year?
Well, I just plan to go out and have a consistent top 5 finish and stay out of trouble, and hopefully be able to finish way up in the points and do like I did in the late models.
Hey, thanks for stopping by today, Tim, and good luck in the future.
Okay, thank you.
This is the go-kart division. They run it both at Albany, Saratoga, and at Devil's Bowl. And this year, Devil's Bowl is moving it to Sunday afternoons. So if you want to go to the races, you can go in the afternoon and watch the go-karts. And then we'll stay and watch the race cars at night, the modifieds, the street stocks, the sportsmen, and the hobby stocks. They tell me these are quite fast. They have a small track that they've built at Devil's Bowl and at Albany, Saratoga. And a lot of young people get their start racing by doing the go-karts. One or two people tell me it's not as inexpensive as they'd like to think it is. And then several people tell me it's very inexpensive. But it's a good way to get started for a young person. And I think it's got to be a lot of fun. Look at the motors and stuff, and again, it takes a little time and a little effort to keep these cars maintained. But when you look at it, somebody spending $15,000 to $25,000 for a modified, and you can probably get by one of these for $3,000 to $5,000 or $2,000 to $5,000. And when I say $5,000, it'd be a lot of money at the top of the line. There's a 20, that's a coupe. Nice job on that car. That belongs to Woody Woodbury. Woody was in Castleton. One of his sponsors is Johnson Energy. And Tom Johnson's jumped right into racing. I think he's sponsoring 3 cars this year. This is a CVRA pace car. You'll see this car at Albany, Saratoga, and Devil's Bowl. They'll lead the cars out on the track any race. If you've never been to a race, they race Sunday night at Devil's Bowl. That starts at 7. Race Friday night at Albany, Saratoga, and that starts at 7:30. Albany, Saratoga last year hosted some of the best racing in the Northeast. And Devil's Bowl was equally good. Great entertainment, inexpensive for the family. They always have great hot dogs, French fries, the races. If you haven't been to a race, you should stop by. If you like asphalt, Vermont Speedway runs on Saturday night. Airborne runs on Saturday night also, and that's in Plattsburgh, and Thunder Road runs on Thursday nights, and that's in Barrie. Buddy Bardwell's old car. It's an old Hudson. Buddy won the first race that C.J. Richards ever promoted at the old Fairmont Speedway in Fairhaven. There's a big article this month in Stock Car Racing magazine about C.J. and his family and how he's a maverick promoter. That promises to be good reading. You can pick up Stock Car Racing magazine at any newsstand. This is Mike Peer. We're at the Green Mountain Motorsports Show at the Diamond Ridge Mall in Rutland, Vermont. And with me right now is Mike Perotti from Plattsburgh, New York. Mike, 1995 was not one of your better years in racing. You got the Hard Luck Award from the Champlain Valley Racing Association, but you're a better driver than that. You've always been one of the top drivers in the dirt, and you've done some asphalt driving. What's your plans for 1996?
Just work harder. Driving is just one part of it. It's the easiest part. When there's a lot of good drivers, but we just had a lot of problems with braking and maintenance and different things, and we've been working real hard since October to overcome that. So it will be a better year for us in '95.
That's good. That's good. That's what we want to hear. You know, you've always been a force to be reckoned with, and you led quite a few races last year and did break, so that had to be real disheartening.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I had some other things going on, some business commitments and things like that. I just couldn't put as much time into it as I wanted to, and that's basically all it is. It's just a lot of hard work, and you make your own luck, and we just tried to change that this year. We've been working real hard, and we're looking forward to getting going next Sunday.
We're looking forward to seeing you there. I'm one of those believers that you can compete with C.D. Colville, Kenny Tremont, and Billy Decker. And do you have a goal of going for the championship this year?
We're gonna just take each race as it comes. We're gonna run all the races on the CVRA circuit and try to just do as well as we can and win as many races as we can. And I think with that thought, the points will come with it. I don't really like chasing points, but I definitely would like to win the championship. But we're just going to take each race at a time and get prepared for it and try to do as well as we can on a per race basis, and then let the cards fall where they do.
Thank you, Mike Perotti. It's good to see you. And we're going back down through looking at the go-karts again. So, good-looking go-karts here today. The kids aren't the only ones that race these. There's adults that race these also. modifieds race for money. Go-karts race for the trophies. One of the LaFon boys' cars. Several nice trophies. These guys also have safety precautions. Wear a fire suit and a racing helmet. And the shoes. And you can never be too safe, and that's a good point. '71. That's Lee Accavello's car. Lee's from Rutland. Royal glass. See, as I said earlier, not just kids are in this, but adults are also. And I'm sure that Lee has a good time doing this. Again, you can see these run on Sunday afternoons at Devil's Bowl. Devil's Bowl opens on May 19th. Be karting in the afternoon and stock car racing at night. Bring the whole family. It'll be a good day of entertainment. This is Mike there at the Green Mountain Motorsports Show at the Diamond Ridge Mall in Rutland, Vermont. And our guest today is none other than the Superman, C.D. Colville. C.D., how you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. Last year was a great year for you. You were the Champlain Valley champion. You were the Devil's Bowl champion. What's your plans for 1996?
Basically the same thing, but maybe we can win Malta too this year.
We'd like to see that. There's been some rumors circulating in the Rutland area that you're going to also run the dirt circuit. Is there any, the Skull Series, any truth to that rumor?
Not that I'm entertaining the idea, but I'm not really sure right now. If something really good came up, I'd maybe run some Saturday night shows, but right now I'm not really that interested in it. Like I said, if somebody come up with a good deal, what I'd like to do is get hooked up with somebody to run one of them blacktop tracks up north on Saturday night, and then I could come up, stay Saturday night, and hit the ball on the way home.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat. You have an interest. You said earlier today that you had an interest in the blacktop. You didn't think before that you'd like blacktop, but now you have a sense you'd like the asphalt?
Yeah, I really like the asphalt, and I'd like to really try a bush car, see if I can get hooked up with somebody. And I'd like to be the oldest Busch Grand National Rookie of the Year.
That'd be quite an honor.
You know, I think Trickles did it at 47 or 48, somewhere in that range, so I might have to lay off a year or two.
That sounds good. This, ladies and gentlemen, CVRA champion 1995 in the modified division, the Superman, C.D. Colville. Thank you, C.D.
Thank you.
This is a sprint car, and these are exciting. And I like to tell a story about Roger Horvath. Roger was crippled in a motorcycle accident a few years ago. He was a talented modified driver. Roger races in the sprint car division, raced at Devil's Bowl, raced at Albany, Saratoga last year, uses hand controls. It's a really heartwarming story to see Roger race. Again, these are some of the cars from Claremont Speedway. And they race on Saturday night, and that's an asphalt track. If you like asphalt racing, they put on a great show. We recommend it to anybody. Racing's a fun sport. It's the fastest growing sport in America right now. And the Penske Corporation and Speedway Corporation of America, those stocks have jumped right through the roof since they've been introduced on the market, just to show you how much the sport's growing. This is Mike Pierre at the Green Mountain Motorsports Show at the Diamond Ridge Mall. And with us this afternoon is sportsman driver Todd Morey. Todd, got a brand new car this year. Look, things are looking up for the Morey Racing team.
Yeah, we've got a new car, new team, got a new partner now in the car, which is really helping us get ready to roll for this year. We finally got good equipment, and we're ready to go after the championship.
Oh, that's great. You got a lot of competition in the sportsman division. You got Turco, you got David Town, you got the Orwell Express and Timmy LeDuc. So the competition, there's about 40 cars signed up to race in the sportsman division this year. How do you feel about that?
Well, the division has grown a lot in the last couple of years. The level of competition has increased tremendously. With this new car, I'm looking forward to having a great season. I think with this car, we could be a front-running car, and I expect all good things. The car's going to bring us some good luck.
Well, Todd, congratulations and good luck on the new year. And we're sure going to see you at the races starting next Sunday.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Well, it's been an exciting show, the 4th annual Green Mountain Motorsports Show. It's nice to have it inside at Diamond Run Mall. There's no rain. And the crowd here has been great. And I can see this show continuing to grow. If you've never been to the races, this would be a good year for you to go. You can either go Friday night at Albany, Saratoga, and they race at 7:30 rather. You can go Sunday night at Devil's Bowl, they race at 7 p.m. and they start on May 19th. Claremont Speedway in Claremont, New Hampshire. Thunder Road in Barrie, Vermont. Plattsburgh International Speedway up in Plattsburgh, New York. They run on Saturdays. Bear Ridge Speedway in Bradford, Vermont. They race on Saturdays. There's a Winston Cup racing event over at New Hampshire International Speedway. So the Northeast is starting to get a lot of racing. Ryan Key's car, Ryan from Pittsburgh, he started at Devil's Bowl. Nice job they've done with that car. Ryan races at Monondock Speedway in New Hampshire. He's a talented racer also. So there's plenty of activities for the families, and if you've never been to a race, check it out this year. I think you'll be excited. It's an enjoyable experience. Bring the whole family. The thing that I've learned about this sport is I appreciate the time and the efforts that takes many people to build one of these cars. And it's not just the driving, it's the teamwork. And that's the key to a lot of these teams' success, is the teamwork that goes into these cars. It's been a great time at the mall this year. It's a great show. Hopefully it'll be bigger and better next year. Winding down C.V. Elms's car. Hooters pace car, Hooters Cup pace car. We're at the end.
Thank you.
Come to the races, enjoy yourself, and have a great time.